All right, so we are trying to recreate this popular dinosaur game on Google Chrome. You see that the dinosaur is changing costume. The cactus plants are coming from the left, are coming from the right, and they are gliding over to the right. And we have different costumes for those cactus. And you also notice that it gets faster as time goes by. And another thing you are also going to notice is that there's a button, you press the space bar, and the dinosaur jumps. And also, we have eye scores. We have the score counting, and we also have the eye score, individual eye score. So that's what we're going to do now. To start, first and foremost, we need to get our resources. So get the cat out of the way, and let's get our resources. We need the dinosaur. Let's go for dinosaur. I think this dinosaur looks like what we need, but let's make more. Let's see. Let's select it. It looks like what we need, and then we also need the cactus plant. The scratch out cactus. I guess not. So let's look at we have plants. Let's look for a plant that we can use to represent that, or something thoughtful, something that can hurt the dinosaur. What can we use? What can we use? And even rather than using the dinosaur, actually, I think I'll prefer using the frog. But let's just go with what we intended at first. We can always find a way around that. I can't see any harmful plants here. What can we use? What can we use? What can we use? Okay, I can't find any. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just look for something dangerous and use that as, okay, I think I saw something like a porcupine or so. Was it a porcupine? I thought I saw a porcupine. I can see a puffer fish. I can also see, okay, hedgehog. So I'll use the hedgehog. So I'll use the hedgehog. All right, so now the first thing I want to do is that I want to first make sure everything is intact. So for instance, the dinosaur is quite big. I would like to reduce the size of the dinosaur. And to do that, I can say when the green flag is clicked, let's say 50%. Let me try 50%. Let's see how big that's going to be. Oh, I was writing the code for the porcupine. So let me just move it over. Actually, I will leave that for the porcupine as well. Okay, so for the dinosaur, when the flag is clicked, it's on 50%, which is quite okay. I think that's okay. But for this hedgehog, I keep saying porcupine. For this hedgehog, I'm not going to set it to 50% because if you remember from our dinosaur, we are having different sizes of, yes, we're having different sizes of cactus. Yes, sometimes you have a big cactus, sometimes you have a small cactus. So we are going to also change the sizes of the cactus. I'm going to make it random. So instead of cactus, I'm talking about the hedgehog now. So we are going to make the size random. So we just go to our operators and we'll say pick random from, let's say, 40 should be the 40 can be the least, 40 to, let's say, 100. Yeah, so I think that's okay. So anytime we click on green flag, yes, it's picking a random size. That's okay. The size is okay. Now, another thing we need to do is that we need to make it face the other side. We need to make it face the other side. So I'll just go to the costume and then flip horizontally. Yes, that is okay. But I think I need to flip the second one to horizontally. Yeah. So let me just flip everything horizontally. I think these three are okay. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. I need just 1, 2, 3 to make it look as though it is working. Okay, I think I need just 1 and 2. I need 1 and 2 for the working animation. So let's go back to the code now. And now, so let's just say forever. Let's say forever. Set the size to that. Let's try that. So forever the size is changing, which is okay. That's the first thing. Another thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to make the porcupine, the hedgehog, come from the left edge of the screen and move over to the right side of the screen. So to do that, there are different ways people do that. You can use the glide, you can use the move 10 steps, and so on and so forth. But let's just use something simple. So we are going to use, let's use the move 10 steps. And that'll be quite efficient. But before we do that, you also need to make sure that it's moving left to right so that it cannot, we say the set rotation style to left to right so that it doesn't move in a diagonal way or something. So we are going to set it left to right. Okay. I've set the size to random. So after the size is set to random, I need it to go to the extreme edge. I need to go to the extreme edge right here. So that's about X being just a go to. And they go to. And then they go to X being that number and Y minus 152. Good. And then I say move 10 steps. Move 10 steps. So let's try that. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's not moving 10 steps because, excuse me, please. If I use glide, let me just show you what I'm trying to do. If I use glide, glide is going to be very simple. I'll just say glide to X minus 254 or minus 242, for instance, and then it's still going to retain the Y position. So if I do that, actually, that one is much easier. You can see that. So it keeps on moving and it's going to work. That's obviously going to work. But I want the working animation. That's the reason. I want the working animation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write another code for the work. So when green flag is flicked, set rotation style to left, right, and then go to this position. And then I think I need it forever. I need it forever. Yes. So go to that position, move 10 steps. And then for that move 10 steps, I'm going to repeat until. Like I said. So if you go to the position first, repeat this move 10 steps, and then next costume, you're going to repeat that until the X is at that other end. So that's what I'm going to do. So repeat until X position is less than, so repeat until the X position, that is the position of the X is less than, that's going to be minus, let's say 230, for instance. It's less than that. So it's going to keep on repeating that. And after it has repeated that, it will go back to the top again. So that's what we want to do. So let me try it. Oh, something is broken. It's constantly changing size. I don't need it to change size. I need to change size at the top right here. First position, yes. Okay. I'm going to move this. Let's try it again. But it's not moving. I will need it to move. Let's see. Something must be broken here. Okay, so I think the mistake we just made is the move 10 steps. So it's not supposed to be move 10 steps. It's supposed to be move minus 10 steps. And that's the only mistake we made. And so if you try it now, it's working properly. Now, the hedgehog is okay. Now, the next thing is to go to the dinosaur and make sure it can jump. So first things first, the size has been set. The next thing is for it to jump. So forever, I would like to use the space bar to jump when space key is pressed. Or let's say when somebody touches the screen, would that be okay? If somebody taps the screen, should I do that? Because I don't want to actually complicate it. I'll say if touching the hedgehog is jump. But let's just make it simple. When space key is pressed. So if forever, if space key is pressed, or if the space pressed, so if the space pressed, I'm going to make it jump now. So to make something jump is actually quite easy. You first do the up jumping, and then the down. You do the up, and then you do the down. So for the up, for it to go up, very easy. I will just say change Y by 10. So change y by 10, and then I'll change y by minus 10. So change y by 10 will make it go up. And remember, if you change y by 10 times, that is 100. So to go up by 100, and then I will also make it change y by minus 10 to come down by 100. So I have to join the two of them together and then place it inside this place. Now, I've not finished this code because if, for instance, my dinosaur was here and I start the game, when I press the space key, you can see where it's jumping from. So anytime I click on the green start game, I want it to come back to this position every single time. So to do that, I have to write that code here. So when green flag is clicked, go to that position. That's what I want to do. So let me start it now. Okay. Now you notice something. The jump is kind of not helpful. Maybe let me shift it a little bit forward. The jump is not helpful. It's not jumping over the bigger. It's not jumping over the bigger hedgehog. So I can either reduce the size of the hedgehog, let's say from 40 to let's say 80% instead of 100%, or I can increase the time that this jumps. So I can just maybe 12 times. So I think that should be sufficient. Let's see now. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. So do you see that now? I think everything is working perfectly. So everything's working perfectly. So I think the next thing we can do now is to add a score. You can add a score. So I can simply say when green flag is clicked on the dinosaur forever, or let's first create a variable to make a variable called score for sprite. And then I will say set the score to 0, set score to 0, and then forever change score by 1. So I'll change the score by 1. Change score by 1. But I want the score to be counting by 1 every 1 second. So I have to wait a second each time. I'm going to do that. Wait 1 second each time. So that means when I click on green flag, start from 0 and then 1, 2, like that, like that. Okay, so that is okay. Now, another thing I'm going to set is I-score. I also need the I-score, but for the I-score, I'm going to make it a class variable so that anybody that plays the game can actually see their I-score. So I'm going to make a variable. Let me call it I-score. I-score, and I'm going to make it a cloud variable. That is this online. So okay, now so I can say set I-score to now for this I-score. When green flag is clicked, I'm going to set the I-score to the current I-score, which is just 0 right now. So the current I-score is just 0, and then so the current I-score is just 0 right now, as you can see. So now, and that I'm going to ask a question while I'm playing the game that if the I-score, let me see. So if the score is greater than the I-score, that's what I need to do. If the score is greater than the I-score, that's quite easy. If the score is greater than the I-score, I'm going to set the I-score to what the score is. I will set the I-score to the score, basically. So now let's try this out. Now, if I try this out, I will just keep on playing the game because nothing is going to happen for now. But let me just quickly test it out quickly. Now you can see the I-score is changing. The score is changing. Now, if I stop the game now, the I-score is currently 8. If I start the game again, you can see the I-score still retains the 8. But the score is starting from 0. So that's basically what I want to do. All right, so let me set it back to 0. And then, sorry. Okay, that is reset. Now, what I need to do is that if the dinosaur is touching the hedgehog, that's another thing I need to do. So let me just write another code now. So when green flag is clicked, forever, if I need a question, I need the if then else, I think that would be better. So if dinosaur is touching, that's what that's sensing. So if it's touching the hedgehog, what do? I can just stop the game. I can just stop all. That's a very simple thing. Stop all. Else, okay, I think I don't need that actually. I don't need the else. I wanted to do something before, but I just thought, oh yeah, let's make it simple, you know. So if it's touching the edge of, let's just stop everything. So let's see. Let's see now. Let's start the game and see icons. When green flag is clicked,